Good morning and welcome to the news at 7. I am David Okwasile. ABGA presents certificates of return to Prince Okachukwu and other candidates. First annual Science, Technology, Engineering and Mathematics Invention Fair ends in Oka with a call on pupils and students to strive towards developing their talents. INEC warns political parties against campaigning before approved date. On the foreign scene, both mishap claims 4 lives in Turkey. The All Progressives Grand Alliance ABGAS presented certificate of return to Prince Okachukwu to fly the party's flag in the 2019 senatorial election in Anambra South. The certificate was presented to Prince Okachukwu by the national chairman of the party, Chief Victor Oye, at the party's secretariat in Abuja. The ABGA National Chairman Victor Oye, while presenting the certificate, said Prince Okachukwu has demonstrated belief and commitment to ABGA and congratulated him on his victory at the party primary held at Epulabe Township Stadium. He challenged him to campaign vigorously to ensure victory for ABGA in Anambra South, reassuring him that the party is behind him. Responding, Prince Okachukwu thanked the party's leadership, Governor Willie Obiano, and others who played key roles in ensuring a free, fair and credible primaries in Anambra South, as well as the party's delegates who voted for him. Ekene Enefe, candidate for Oyi and Ayamelon Federal Constituency, Chinendo Obidi were candidate for Anambra East and West Federal Constituency, and Dr. Alex Oti, the Abia State gubernatorial candidate, were among those that also received their certificates of return. Meanwhile, the All Progressives Grand Alliance ABGA presidential candidate in the forthcoming 2019 election, Major General John Wall, retired, says the focal point of his administration will center on true federalism and good governance. Major General Wall disclosed this in his acceptance speech as ABGA's presidential standard bearer at the party's special national convention in Abuja. Correspondent Daniel Eziwe, who attended the convention, filed a report.
Major General Bo, a retired Army general and a PhD holder in anthropology from the Indianapolis University, United States, said his presidential manifestos, which would hinge on restoring the economic and political structure of Nigeria, were born out of the present travails of the country. He noted that the present Nigeria system called for immediate political intervention and pledged to steer the course of human capital development, industrialization, power reforms, and true federalism if voted in.
We are not a nation of North and South. I'm a student of Nigerian nationalism. When we started, we are not a nation of North and South. In the 20s, in the 30s, in the 40s, Nigerians were Nigerians and Africans versus the white man, the English. We were not Yorubas, we were not Hausas, we were not Fulanis, we were not Tiv, we were Nigerians and Africans. And that is the spirit of Nigeria.
On his part, the head of the party's board of trustees, Governor Willie Obiano, who was represented by his deputy, Dr. Nkem Okeke, said the choice of Major General Bo was faultless given his experience and standards, and implored the party members to remain united and stand strongly behind the party.
Leadership is not body of experience. Of course, it is important. The greatest attribute for a good leader is a leader that has sincerity of purpose. You must believe and know what is right. What is it that if somebody does to you will hurt you or make you happy? Do that to somebody else.
Earlier in his opening address, the ABGA National Chairman, Chief Victor Oye, said the party was fielding a presidential candidate for the first time in 10 years because of the dwindling nature of the country's economic and political systems, and assured the nominee of quality support.
What we are witnessing in ABGA is the success story of your own administration. You laid the foundation for winning cases, and we have started winning. Yes, so I keep it to you are winning, and I've been winning. You won 43 and 17.
The senator representing Anambra Central at the National Assembly, Senator Victor Ome, noted that the ABGA blueprints were exceptional and assured of the party's readiness to extend its powers to other states of Nigeria.
We'll carry this message to Nigerians so that we'll be able to see not those who have big money, but those who have the real message of change in Nigeria. I think Africa has the message for real change in Nigeria.
Also at the convention were a former Minister of Information, Mr. Labaram Mako, who is flying the party's flag in the Nasarawa State gubernatorial election, Dr. Alex Oti, who is contesting in Abia State, other aspirants, Board of Trustee members, and members of National Working Committee, State House of Assembly members, and other top stakeholders. From the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, Daniel Ezigwe, reporting for ABS News.
Anambra State has taken more proactive measures to fight youth unemployment and make youth self-reliant. The Ministry of Youth Empowerment and Creative Economy kickstarted its skill acquisition program tagged One Youth, One Skill to achieve that aim. Correspondent Kenneth Kuchukwu brings more details.
According to the figures released by the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, more Nigerians are joining the unemployment market by each passing day. Speaking on the occasion, the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Anambra State Small Business Agency, ASBA, Mr. Clement Chukwuka, said the era of looking for white-collar jobs no longer holds prospects as the jobs are hardly in existence. He said the skill acquisition scheme is a plus as the agency will give financial assistance to those who will need finance to start their own business after the training.
Your duty is to be very, very assimilative, is to be the best in that particular task. Once you are the best, you become marketable. It doesn't matter where your products are situated. Are you getting my point? Even if you are in the remotest part of Nigeria, as far as the skill is there, that's what will find you out. And that's what you guys need to get to them.
Some participants who spoke to the ABS, including Chibike Chinweze, J. Nwanna, said the program will go a long way in helping the youth to achieve their aims and become useful and productive to the society. The program also featured lecture on the abuse of drugs that are destructive to the youth by the state NDLEA commander, Sule Momodu, represented by the agency's PRO, Charles Efosa. In Oka, it's been Kenechukwu Chukwudi for ABS News.
The first annual Science, Technology, Engineering and Mathematics STEM Invention Fair has ended in Oka. The program aimed at harnessing and encouraging the inventive skills of the pupils and students for technological growth of the state took place at the St. John of God Secondary School, Oka. Chidemu Ikanyon is standing by with the report.
The STEM fair attracted representatives from different primary and secondary schools in the state. Inventors from primary, secondary, and tertiary institutions, as well as private individuals, showcased their products as judges assess the utility values and safety of these inventions. Speaking on behalf of the governor, the senior special assistant to the governor on digipreneur, Mr. Ifeanyi Aniago, while commending the activities of STEM in the state, stated that the state government is always willing to render support to innovations and technological ideas and recalled the success of the winners of the World Technovation competition. He urged students to always strive to develop their ideas to create new innovations.
The only thing they have in common with us that they are from this place. So that is not just an innovation for us to be happy, it's an innovation for us to understand that in what we look at ourselves and develop ourselves as people that own the technology, the technology all over the world, we are actually doing better.
In a welcome address, the coordinator Young Scientist Center and a lecturer at Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu University, Professor Benedict Ezeliora, who is a Reverend Sister, said that STEM Fair is to be a yearly event to gradually advance Igbo's inventive prowess for the benefit of the people.
Most of the instruments developed for space is now being used for us here in the Earth planet. So it has benefited humanity so much, and also helps to improve and develop technology.
In an interview, the senior assistant to the governor of mineral resources and the coordinator Morris STEM Network, Mr. Michael Oreke, said the event seeks to promote potentials which will be developed into commercially viable products by offering refinement and training in order to get them ready for mass production.
So many of the inventions we've seen in some of these competitions, not just within this STEM, have a potential to be developed into commercially viable products. but they need refinement. The inventors need to be trained on what to do, how to test the products, how to keep prototyping, how to perfect the products, and how to get them ready for manufacture. So that is what we hope to do with this event.
It would be recalled that Anambra State is known as a home of technological development. While Mr. Ifeanyi Anago inspected the inventions, the judges graded the performance of the students as they gave a detailed explanation of how their inventions were created. 14 primary and secondary schools participated in the fair. In Oka, Chidema Ikanyo reporting for ABS News.
To labor unionism now, a 5-member caretaker committee has been inaugurated to pilot the affairs of the Anambra Broadcasting Service chapter of the Radio, Television and Theatre Arts Workers Union, RATAO. The committee will oversee the affairs of the union in the next 3 months, during which election for new leadership of the chapel will be organized. Correspondent Emmanuel Okonkwo tells us more.
Members of the 5-man caretaker committee include Comrades Morinstone Enujuoke Chairman, Afamo Bidike Treasurer, Amako Obi Secretary, KC Ezelambert Financial Secretary, and Stella Okoye PRO. Speaking during the ceremony, the Southeast Zonal Vice President of the Union, Comrade Emeka Kalu, cautioned members against segregation and other acts that could mar or jeopardize the peace and unity of the Union. Comrade Kalu, who described the Union as strong and independent body, called on the committee to use the 3-month period to take the Union to higher level through selfless service and prepare members to the upcoming election of the chapter.
The Union is capable of driving home whatever agitation they have. The union is capable of fighting for their members. Be purposeful. Encourage your workers, your members to be diligent in their service, to go to work, to put optimum productivity, to be more creative, create wealth through your innovations.
On his part, the State Council Chairman of the Union, Comrade Andy Onwalo, charged members to support the newly appointed committee for optimal performance and progress of the chapter.
My advice is to pray for them and give them the desired support and assistance for them to succeed. They need their prayers. And for you to be a leader, it's not easy. If you are not a good follower, you can't make a good leader.
In her acceptance speech, the chairman of the committee, Morinstone Enujuoke, on behalf of others, promised to work within the guidelines establishing them and to carry everybody along for the upliftment of the union.
I want to thank you once again, and I promise that I'm going to work within the ambits of the law guiding RATAO, and I'm going to work with the management to see to the upliftment of this union.
Oath of office was later administered on members of the committee by the State Council Chairman of the Union. In Oka, I am Emmanuel Okonkwo, reporting for ABS News.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has warned political parties and their presidential candidates for the 2019 elections against publicly campaigning before November 18. Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, the INEC chairman, issued the warning while speaking at a workshop for election professionals from the Commonwealth Africa region. Yakubu said the approved time for campaign, according to the timeline given by INEC and the provisions of Electoral Act, begins 90 days before the polling day. This, he said, also applies to candidates vying for elected positions in the National Assembly, adding that the campaign for governorship and State House of Assembly elections would begin on December 1. He further said political parties are expected to submit lists of candidates and their personal particulars for presidential and National Assembly elections on October 10 and 18 respectively. The federal government has announced that beginning from Monday, October 15, 2018, it will commence the final verification and payment of entitlements to all former workers of the defunct Nigeria Airways. He stated this in a statement issued by the new Special Advisor on Media and Communications to the Minister of Finance, Paul Abechi. The government said the payment would last for 1 week and would be done simultaneously in Lagos, Kano, and Enugu. The federal government had recently approved 22.68 billion naira for the ex-workers of the defunct national carrier. The statement said that in Lagos Center, the exercise will take place at Sky Park Catering in Ikeja, while it will hold at ABC, former Nigeria Airways office, Bank Road, Kano, for the Kano Center. 4 people died after a boat carrying illegal migrants capsized off Turkey's western coast. The Turkish Coast Guard, while search efforts continued to find 30 other people on board. The discovery came after an Iraqi woman in wet clothes and wearing a life jacket sought help from the Coast Guard in Karaban district in Izmir province. She told the Coast Guard that the boat carrying her and 34 others began to sink shortly after beginning its journey and managed to arrive on solid ground. After launching a rescue operation, the Coast Guard found the bodies of 4 migrants, including 2 ashore and 2 in the water. The other migrants' nationalities were not given, but Turkey hosts over 3 million Syrian refugees and up to 300,000 Iraqis. The boat was thought to be on its way to Greece, since Turkey is one of the transit countries used by those fleeing war and poverty to try and reach Europe. The flow of refugees into Europe has slowed since the influx hit a peak in 2015, when over a million people landed in Greece from Turkey, mainly via boats. Russian Premier League chiefs have requested a lifetime ban for disgraced footballers Pavel Mamaev and Alexander Kokorin following an unprovoked attack on 2 government officials. Krasnodar midfielder Mamaev and Zenit St. Petersburg forward Kokorin are facing a 5-year jail term after video footage caught them attacking 2 Russian Trade Ministry officials in an upscale Moscow cafe. The footage showed one of the officials, Denis Park, an ethnic Korean, being hit with a chair while eating a meal. Now, the former Russian international players who have courted controversy in the past could be banned for life from playing in Russia. Although they have not yet been formally charged, the pair also face up to 5 years in prison over the incident. Krasnodar has pledged to terminate Manev's contract, while Zenit has condemned Kokorin's role as disgusting. The St. Petersburg club removed all T-shirts bearing his name following reports of the attack. Before the cafe assault, the footballers attacked the driver of a television host and damaged her Mercedes in a separate incident. The driver was hospitalized with injuries and the criminal probe was opened. Remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by logging on to our website, www.absradiotv.com. Like us at www.facebook.com/absradiotv. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at absradiotv. Before we go the main points again, ABGAS presented certificates of return to Prince Okachukwu and other candidates. The national chairman of the party, Chief Oye, presented the certificates at the party secretariat in Abuja. First annual Science, Technology, Engineering and Mathematics Invention Fair has ended in Awka with a call on pupils and students to strive towards developing their talents. INEC has warned political parties against campaigning before approved dates. And the bus mishap has claimed 4 lives in Turkey. On behalf of the editor and the whole team here, I am David Obukwasile. Good morning, Anambra stands by after this.